Hi and welcome to this yoga practice dedicated to Persephone. If you haven't already, please check out the podcast episode or YouTube video that coincides with this yoga practice, and that will give you a little bit more insight into Persephone and a little bit more insight into this yoga practice itself. So, beginning laying on our back, right away get settled in. Bringing the hands onto the body, maybe onto the belly, or you can do one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. We're going to move through a little 4-part equal breathing, so I will guide you through it. If this breath rhythm doesn't suit you for whatever reason, feel free to take a rhythm that does suit. So we inhale for 4, pause for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4, and repeat. So we'll inhale together just to get on the same page. Exhale to empty the lungs. And inhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4. And just let your breathing return to normal. And we'll kick the feet up for happy baby. So reaching for either the inside of the feet or the outer edges. Soles of the feet kick up to the sky. If it feels better for you to hold on to the backs of your thighs, you can do that. And we'll find a little free movement here. So maybe rocking side to side. You can kick the legs, straightening one, then the other. Or if you feel like being in stillness today, you can be in stillness. Releasing the feet down to the mat, about hip width apart. We'll take it into a bridge pose. So on an inhale, sending the hips up high. Think about sending the hip points reaching behind the knees as well as up the way. On an inhale, try and lift a little higher. You can interlace the fingers here behind the tailbone. Snuggle the shoulders behind the heart space. Think about lifting the chin up to the sky. So lots of space between the chest and chin. And on an exhale, slow release of the spine. Hug the knees into the chest. Sending the right leg out long. Give the left leg a squeeze in. And then we'll send it all the way over into our reclined twist. So left leg moves all the way over to the right side of the room. You might need to bump the hips and adjust to make this suit you. Hands can come out either side, cactus, or on the body. On an exhale, feel the body grow a little heavier. Stay here, or you can begin to point the right toes up towards you and grab hold of them with the left hand, coming into a little variation of cat pulling its tail. Once again, use an exhale to find somewhere to soften. Release the toes if you have hold of the toes. Then we'll make our way through center. Hug both knees into the chest once again. And we'll send the left leg out long. Hug the right knee in. And then sending it over into our reclined twist. So here we think about both shoulders grounding down equally. So there's a tendency for maybe the right shoulder to come up. And even if it is, that's fine, but just an awareness of grounding down. Stay here, or moving into cat pulling its tail, or a variation of it. We'll make our way back through center. Hold on to the back of the thighs and we'll find a little rock and roll up and down the spine. So do this a couple of times, even if it feels silly, especially if it feels silly. And eventually we'll rock all the way forward, coming into tabletop position. On an inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, rounding through. Couple more rounds on your own, flowing with your breath at your own rhythm, choosing your own journey. And eventually we'll take this movement all the way up into downward dog and keep the movement going. So pedal the feet, maybe even find a little sway side to side, a little flow. And eventually we'll come to stillness. Grounding down through the left foot. On an inhale, we lift the right leg up high. Three-legged dog. And begin to stack the hips, opening up through the right hip. Exhale, bringing it through, knee to nose, upper body's in plank. Inhale, send it back, three-legged dog, open through the hip. On an exhale, take it through, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, open the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. This time we'll plant the foot, lower the back knee, and take it into a low lunge. Start to open through the heart here in your low lunge, sinking into the hips. Pause and breathe. Make sure you're not dumping all your weight into your fingers here, so we are lifting. On an exhale, we'll reverse it. We'll begin to straighten through the front leg, coming into a runner's stretch, pulling the hips back. And we'll flex the toes towards the face. Rolling through again, bending the knee. And we're just going to shuffle the right toes over to the left side of the mat, sinking the hips down, coming into a pigeon pose. So hands stay on the mat, and like we do in Cobra, we're going to find a little flow with the spine. So inhaling to rise, exhaling to fold. We'll press into the hands and make our way back to downward dog. Grounding down through the right foot, and on an inhale we'll lift the left leg up high, open through the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, open the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale, three-legged dog, open the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Stepping the foot through and making our way into our low lunge. Getting light on the fingertips, opening the chest forward, sinking into the hips. Returning to our breath. On an exhale, pull back with the hips, straighten the front leg, flex the left toes towards the face. And we'll roll back through the knee, shuffle the left toes over to the right side and sink our way down into our pigeon, taking our little flow with the spine, so nice fluid movement. On an inhale we rise, And on an exhale, we fold. And we'll start to press into the hands now and make your way back to downward dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg up high, open the hip, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, open the hip, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, open up the hip, exhale, knee to nose, step the foot through. This time we'll keep the back knee lifted as we rise up into a high lunge. Hips are squaring off to the front of the room. Deep bend in that right knee, so front knees over the front ankle, back heel spiking back. From here we'll interlace the fingers behind the tailbone and open up through the heart and throat. Exhale, we're going to pivot on that back foot, coming into a warrior one stance. Hands are still interlaced behind the back, still bending into the front knee. Inhale to open the chest. Exhale to send it forward into humble warrior. Crown of the head reaching down towards the floor, knuckles pulling up to the sky. Use an exhale to pull you back out of the pose. Release the fingers, straighten through the front leg and drape the torso over, coming into a pyramid pose. Take an exhale through the mouth. Bend the front knee, plant the palms, step it back to downward dog. Inhale to lift the left leg up high, open the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, open the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Stepping it up into our high lunge. We'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe you do the opposite interlace this time, so this one might be a little bit more difficult. And we pull the knuckles down. As we do, we lift the chest up towards the sky. We'll pivot on the back foot, coming into our warrior one stance. And then send it down into our humble warrior, crown of the head reaching down, knuckles reaching up. Leading with the chest, we'll rise back up, straighten through the front leg as we release the fingers. And send it into a pyramid pose. Taking it all the way back to our downward dog. an inhale, make your way to the front of the mat, meeting in a forward fold. And take a little ragdoll sway here. So hold on to the elbows and sway a little side to side. Release the fingers. And on an inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach the hands up and overhead. As soon as you reach the top, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to reach for the sky. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to heart, mountain pose. Relax the shoulders. Send all your weight over into your left foot and finding a version of tree pose with the right foot. So toes on the ground, on the calf, on the thigh, wherever feels good for you. Working with wherever you are today and taking any variation with the arms that feels right. Exhale to release the foot, and we'll take it over onto the other side. So choosing your version of tree pose on this side and what feels good for you might be completely different to what feels good for anyone else. It's your practice, your life, make it your own. Exhale to release the foot. Walk the feet about hip width apart, toes pointing out the way, hands come to the heart, and on an exhale we're going to start to bend the knees and drop our centre down. So making our way into a low malasana squat. There might come a point when you have to negotiate and compromise. Hands might come to the mat, or maybe heels lift up. Coming into a low squat that suits you. On an exhale, releasing that pose. We're going to rock forward onto all fours. So when you get there, start to walk the hands up towards the thighs, and we're going to come onto the shins into like a kneeling position. So nice and tall in the spine. Think about rocking the pelvis under. Moving into a little back bend here. So fingers are going to come to the lower back, pointing up the way. Elbows pull in together. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And we start to open through the heart. So heart reaches all the way to the sky. Throat opens. Use an exhale to make your way back out of that. And we're going to repeat the same thing, or we're going to come into a camel pose. So I like to curl the toes under for that. I'm reaching the hands back for the heels, coming into a bigger heart opener. Again, doing what's right for you. Somewhere you can breathe fully. And whisper to yourself, I contain multitudes. I contain multitudes. I contain multitudes. Use an exhale to make your way out of whatever back bend you're in, and we'll come all the way to a seat. So hug the right heel in, send the left leg out long, sending it into a half butterfly fold. So on an inhale, float the fingers up to the sky. Exhale, folding over the left leg. We'll start to roll up through the spine. Just taking a little counter twist here. We'll take it over to the other side. So hugging the left heel in, right leg goes out long. Inhale to grow tall in the spine. Exhale, folding over. And we'll roll back up, taking our counter twist. And come back through centre. Take a second here just to lean back on the hands, sway the knees side to side. And come into a seat so that we can close out practice. So bringing your hands to your knees, one hand palm face up, one hand palm face down. Take a big inhale, and on an exhale, switching the palms. Big inhale, exhale, switch. 2 more times. Big inhale, and now to finish our practice, you decide what feels best. Both hands facing down, both hands facing up, or one up and one down. This is the end of our practice. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through it.